Sup, it's your boy Big Reg, bringing you a recap of Rivalry Week 2020. Going to you from the shadow of the big house. The shadow of the big house that turns into the haunted house of horrors with a
Oh my gosh.
Why? I just want to know why. Just want to know why. Oh, and the biggest disappointment. The Michigan Wolverines turned the big house into a house of horrors. Oh, I closed my eyes and I thought I was going to see visions of glory of Paul Bunyan riding on the shoulders of the victorious Wolverines coming back home to a nice and warm, cozy, comfy big house. Schembeckler Hall. But it wasn't to be. Instead, I saw nightmarish visions. Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Freddy Krueger, and then Mel Tucker all coming after me, snatching away Paul Bunyan and taking him back to East Lansing. Oh, why? Why?
Wow.
I'm not gonna lie, folks. I didn't see this coming. I did not see this coming. Anyway, joining us for the recap of the worst rivalry week in a long time. First, as always, producer JB.
Yo. November 3rd is still in effect. Let's redeem 2020. The only last thing that can be redeemed for 2020.
Is it though? Is it? Is even that too far gone? I don't know. I guess, yeah, sure. Cast your votes. Who cares? The Russians won anyway.
Wow.
Next, joining us for the recap, the one, the only, nameless guest.
Heart broken. It's over.
Oh, nameless guest, I feel your pain. I feel your pain. You'll all notice that we're short two people. One, we'll address it first, Mr. Squarehead. He was so angry, he started cussing all of us out, cussing out Harbaugh. I wouldn't be surprised if his head exploded and he's somewhere wandering around like the headless horseman along the Potomac River, haunting Michigan Wolverines living in the area. You'll also notice that JC from Sunnyside is not with us. He's gone into hiding, nowhere to be found. Last word on the street is hiding somewhere in Woodside.
he switched boroughs.
He switched from Sunnyside to Woodside. He's hiding out between trees, son. He doesn't want to face. Oh, how foolish we all were. How foolish. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, if I could only turn back time. If only I had the DeLorean and I could go back like Marty McFly. Guys, let me just start the question with this. What were we thinking? We got bamboozled pretty good, huh? Holy smokes.
Embarrassed.
You know who I feel like right now? I feel like Manti Te'o. Remember Manti Te'o? Linebacker from Notre Dame? Remember he got catfished about that girlfriend with cancer? I feel like Manti Te'o right now. Holy smokes. I got the rug pulled out from under me. What? She's not real? Oh, boy. Fellas, let's just start with this. After the game, how were you feeling?
So right as the game ended, I was infuriated. I looked at my Garmin watch and I had a stress level of 92 out of 100.
Oof.
I was incensed, so I took
Wait,
beat.
what?
I was just really angry,
Gotcha. Done.
and I decided I'm gonna go drive about 30 minutes and do a 5 mile hike to clean my head. So I walked around for 5 miles by myself with my dog in tow,
Okay.
avoiding bikers that were trying to run me over.
Mm.
And I walked all the way till 7 p.m. in the dark, and then I came back home. And now I feel more, uh, less angry, still embarrassed.
Mm. I think that's the key word for today. Embarrassed. Embarrassed. Nameless guest. How would you describe the emotions that are coursing through your veins right now?
Just so disappointed. I've actually probably overreacted, but just hurt and pissed. I gave up my fandom for Michigan. Yeah, I told my family I'm done watching. You know, the usual ritual by mid-season, near the end, feel like you get more free time, get more family time, get to do more things. The lawn gets taken care of, stuff gets done. Well, I didn't expect it on the game too, but this time it feels like for real, actually. Because yeah, I'm not even sure. This could be the last segment for Nameless.
Wow.
And you boys, so hurt and done and raw and torn apart. You just can't keep doing this. Can't. I mean, how many Michigan fans are left out there believing?
It's tough times right now.
Ugh. It- I'll tell you, this 2020 season has been been a nutcase. There's no other way to put it. So nervous before the first game versus Minnesota. So many unknowns. We were like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? So scared. And then when the game went on, then we blew them out, and then we were flying high. And then this game, going into the game, we were so confident. And then this debacle happens. And now we're just shredded to pieces. It's just, it's oh gosh, it's just too much.
Well, why is this like the lowest of the low? Because I think I could have handled a bitter disappointment on the road against Minnesota. That felt like a toss-up. Felt like, okay, fits the narrative. Can't win on the road. Quality opponent, which we know now, Minnesota sucks. Anyone could beat Minnesota. Our indication that we had fool's gold was last night. They got handled. That's the first. That's the first of the uh-oh. But really, I didn't feel that bad because I thought we still could handle the Spartans today. But then 3 and out, and then to see our line just get mauled on both sides, oh, it was evident. Quarter one, if you look at from the, play it back. Ooh, it's gonna be a long day for the Michigan Wolverines. They're a better team. That's the problem. That's why I'm so low. We let little brother, when they're at their lowest moment, new coach on the ropes, we gave them new life. They're like flying high with possibly a boost in recruiting. This is unforgivable. That's why I feel like more disappointed than I could ever have imagined. This is more than a loss. You lost to a rival that's supposed to be nothing but a little ant, a piss ant.
Wow.
Pathetic. That's pathetic. It really is. It's pathetic.
That's why I'm cringing right now. I'm cringing so hard. When I think about our predictions last week, I start cringing. If you could die from cringing, I would be dead right now. I would be dead. You would see a corpse right now talking to you during Halloween. A corpse. I would be a corpse if you could die from cringing. Think about what we said last week. What were we thinking? Oh my gosh. When you look at it in hindsight 2020, it sounds ridiculous. It sounds psychotic. Oh my God. For crying out loud, we started singing Salt and Pepper Push It. Remember that? Go push it real good. I'm cringing. I want to die. Oh my! I hide my face in shame. Oh my God! What? Oh my gosh! We literally said push it real good.
Yes.
Oh my God! What were we thinking? Ugh.
Who didn't think that though? Who didn't think that? Even the biggest hater and disbeliever predicted a win. Oh,
It's just crazy. You know, we're like one of the worst teams in the Big Ten now, if you think about it. If you think about it, Rutgers widely known to be one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in the Big Ten. Beat Michigan State. So Michigan State is worse than Rutgers. And now we've been beaten by Michigan State. So the only ones that it's not speculative. This is science. This is mathematics.
It would be math, yes. The transitive property.
Transitive property.
The transitive property, yes.
No, does not apply.
That doesn't work in football.
If Rutgers is better than Michigan State and Michigan State is better than us, then we suck. Oh man, we are terrible. Good gravy.
Well, we'll play Rutgers, so we'll know the answer to that.
Oh, I already know. I did the math. The transitive property tells me so. Oh my God. Oh my God. How am I going to ever visit the Washington, D.C. area ever again? I can't. NY Juju, the shame that she'll rain down upon me if we lose to Rutgers. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I can never go back to the nation's capital again?
I think we've lost to Rutgers before, so.
One Stern Brady jokes term. That doesn't count.
So where do we go from here, Big Reg? Producer.
Oh, I don't know.
Is it over? Is all lost?
I mean, the only things that came to pass from last week's video or the preview video was Squarehead's prediction about all the punts that we were going to do.
8 punts.
Reno punt! Reno punt! Oh my gosh.
He predicted 9. We did it 8 times. Also, I would like to note that Blake Corum scored 2 touchdowns.
The freshman.
All right, you know what?
Freshman played. Roman got some balls. Henning had some nice chunk yards. Only thing we got was on the perimeter because we got nothing up front. Our vaunted line, no, you can't claim that they're so impressive anymore. I mean, I think today sort of showed that, right? Got pushed around.
I think against certain lines that we will do okay, and certain lines we will get exposed for
being average.
The inexperience. There's a lot of stunting that Michigan State was doing, and that was definitely affecting us. And
we didn't pick up a lot of the right blocks.
I think also what Fox analysts, they actually did a decent job on diagnosing, but Michigan State came prepared. They locked Joe Milton in a box, and they said, well, try to throw over our linebackers and see if he can throw the long ball. And he couldn't. So then he was stuck. He's not fast enough to jump out of the pocket.
Here's the thing, though. As distraught as I am, if I think about it a little bit more coolly and rationally, we lost 27-4, right? We had 4 points that we could have had in the first half. We went first and goal at the 5. Remember that?
That was disaster.
And then we go Wildcat twice with the second one with Hassan Haskins trying to do a little dinkaroo, duckaroo.
Reggie Bush jump throw.
Yeah, I had no idea why we even tried to do that. I mean, why not have Joe Milton run that play instead? Anyway, that was just mind-boggling to me. So there's a bunch of points. Well, I shouldn't have a bunch of points, but there were points right there that we could have, should have had. Then the other ones was the PI call that they did not call on the Spartans. Remember along the when the one time we went downfield, we passed downfield. They didn't call PI on Sparty, but they kept the flag in their pockets.
Yep.
After they've been calling the game on Michigan for the same type of infractions. So I won't say that they weren't holding, that Michigan was not holding. But if you're going to call it on Michigan, you got to call it on Sparty. Right?
Oh.
So that was another key play. So there's 2 key plays. And then the third key play, which was the most egregious, was on 3rd and long. When it was an incomplete pass, when the ball bounced around on the turf and they dropped it, and they called it a completion.
Oh, goodness. Unbelievable.
I'm not going to say Big Ten officiating sucks, but it ain't good. I'll just say it that way. All you can ask for is consistency, number 1. And number 2, being able to observe the obvious. In this case, they failed at both regards.
Wow. I think there was also some things that could have been done coaching-wise that could have called into question that catch, like taking a timeout and maybe analyzing it. But something is going on with that coaching. Something is going on.
What do you mean something's going on?
It's just season after season of seeing almost the same stuff happen. Defensively, I don't know how many more years we can take every big game being blown open because of the long ball and how it's so obvious yet so difficult for them to take care of. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
No. So far, these 4 beers are empty. Then these other 4 beers are empty.
Come on, Rich.
That's not all
And
today.
then this beer is all. This is all today. All today. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, goodness.
Look, I'm not blaming the officiating. I'm just saying it didn't help our cause in coming back.
Yeah, I didn't think they helped at all. I was pretty I was upset at the ticky tack kind of stuff. And but really as the game went on, our offensive ineptitude was just so glaring that there's just I had nothing to say anymore about the refs or the officiating. I mean, we couldn't win. We didn't win our assignments. We couldn't block our guy. We lost the trenches. Totally exposed. It was embarrassing. And that's why I have the least amount of faith and hope in this team that I could ever imagine. I mean, we sucked.
No, because that is you can't deny that. You can't. Because here's why. Because we only lost to them by 3, and we still had a chance to win, or shouldn't say chance to win. We still had a chance even in the dying seconds against this Michigan State squad. So as much as we'd like to say that Michigan State played well and all that stuff, they played pretty crappy too to give this Michigan squad a chance still late in the 4th quarter. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So I'm saying that, yeah, they won, but it's not like Michigan State's a great team. We lost to a bad team today, which makes it feel even worse. Because think about all the crap that we did wrong today. Like you were saying, the blocking was bad. The defensive line play was non-existent. I mean, how much time can you give Rocky Lombardi? How much time are you going to give him?
Jeez.
Did we get him even once today?
I think we touched him on the shoulder once.
You
I mean,
can't.
we're saying that, oh, yeah, the corners are getting burned all day, all night. But guess what? It's easy to burn a corner, or it makes it easier if the quarterback is just standing around waiting for them to get open all day. Gosh. Lost it in the trenches, lost it on the outside, lost it on the inside. Oh, drop passes today. That was another thing that we are having trouble with. Making the big catches in the big moments.
Or tell me now, who needs to be benched that should have been benched and therefore is a coaching gaffe? Eric All is not all that. I'm sorry.
I don't like singling people out. You know me. I don't like singling people out. But I'm not going to lie. It gets a little frustrating when Eric All drops all the passes. You know what I mean? Catch the ball, please. I know you're a freshman. You might get a little nervous, but catch a pass. I take that back. I'm sure Eric All's a good kid. I'm sure he'll get better. It's just,
You're frustrated. Frustrated.
So I know Lee is there. It's just, we haven't seen it yet. So, yeah. Hopefully he keeps working hard in practice, getting in front of the jug machine,
Oh gosh. I don't think it's the jug machine. I think there's fundamentals that are not in there. I don't like blaming players either. But I think coaches are to blame. And I didn't see the post conference or post game interviews, but Don Brown should apologize. He should apologize.
You know what though? Here's the thing. You can't put it on Don Brown.
Oh, I can.
No. Here's my argument. You got. I'll present my case, Yana. I'd like to present my case for why you cannot blame Mr. Don Brown. If I may approach the bench, Yana. Don Brown is not the head coach. Jim Harbaugh is the head coach. So in my mind, when Harbaugh sees that something is not working, I think he has to be more proactive and be like, hey, this ain't working. Don, do something different. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we could yell at Don Brown all we want. It ain't gonna do nothing. But you know what would do something? If Jim Harbaugh started yelling at Don Brown and saying, Don, what are we doing out here? What are we doing? This ain't working. This ain't working, buddy boy. Shake the doldrums out of that mustache and get to it there. Let's switch something up here. You know what I mean? Or am I crazy? Like, shouldn't Jim Harbaugh be the one lighting the fire underneath the assistant coach's, behinds to say, hey, switch it up a little bit here? So that's why, for me, it falls on the big man. It's got to come down to Jim Harbaugh. And I think Jim Harbaugh has to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit more of a douchebag. Holding people accountable. You know what I mean? And maybe he is. I don't know. Maybe he is. Maybe at halftime he was chewing Don Brown out. I don't know. But it doesn't seem like he is. And I think he doing that more.
Our number one corner did get benched. Finally.
Oh gosh,
Our
that was
no-
rough to watch. You know what is a Michigan tradition? You know what is a Michigan tradition now?
Mm.
Ever since Chaz Woodson,
Say it.
the continually burned cornerback.
The scheme we play. We stick them on an island.
Ever since Morgan Trent in that Rose Bowl, remember that?
Oh
Against you,
gosh.
when he was exposed repeatedly and we couldn't do anything to fix the problem. That, unfortunately, has become a Michigan tradition. The Morgan Trent issue. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Well, the thing is, we would always win, and Don Brown's scheme would work until the end of the season against the elites. We would always win these games, and we'd have fun doing it. A lot of folks had their doubts about our personnel and having the kind of corners you need to keep playing this way. It just wasn't there. Should have been evident after the first quarter or two. And we kept going.
Yeah, but you know what? Well, I don't know. It's a mixed bag. It is a mixed bag.
Just frustrating. Just lashing out in pain. What can you do?
So,
Well,
so
objectively,
Your Honor, can I interject here and plead my case, please?
please, Yana, producer JB would like to approach the bench.
I am not denying ultimate responsibility on Coach Harbaugh. He is the end all in terms of making the tough decisions, which I agree. I think he's challenged in terms of making those tough decisions. I think he plays favorites. I think he plays to his tendencies, and it's difficult for him to change. I think that's all valid. My problem with Don Brown is that he does not scheme for the opposing team. He schemes and then he gets exposed. And then he says this, he reacts and then tries to adjust the defense accordingly. And that to me seems like a very futile attempt in this day and age of college football where you have to be aggressive, agreed, but you can't just be recklessly aggressive and think that you can get away with it in this day and age of college football. Offense will win championships now. It's not just about defense. Everyone's saying that across the board. And yet, Don Brown sticks to his guns and his tendencies, and then everyone just picks him apart. You don't think that those Spartans coordinators looked at the Minnesota tape and said, hey, you know what? Rashawn Bateman was getting open. Let's try to do something like that. And then to this case, you have an old coordinator who needs to go. He needs to go. There's nothing about what he's done so far between the 5-6 years he's been here that have indicated to me that he is an elite defensive coordinator. I almost wish that he would go back to Boston College and have taken that job. I was waiting. I'm sorry, but if this is all hypothetical, if Harbaugh wants to save his Michigan career, he's got to get rid of Don Brown. He's got to get rid of him. I'm sorry. It's not enough. Everyone can state it's not enough to be 8-4 in a season if you lose all the big games, which repeatedly, I mean, there's data to prove that he is the worst against the elite teams that we play against. That's undeniable. That's facts. If you want real facts, Don Brown is horrible against top 25 teams.
We did not play a top 25 team
today.
Which is even worse. Which is even worse.
Well, let me just say this, Yana. Yana, if I may approach the bench yet again. I believe, Yana, despite all the troubles and tribulations that the Michigan Wolverine defense displayed today, in my mind, Yana, the Michigan Wolverine defense did enough to win the game. It was the offense today that was the cause for the defeat.
Wow.
Having said that, Your Honor, I do recognize and I do admit and declare that against the elite teams of not only the Big Ten, but college football, I do admit, Your Honor, and I do concede that the Michigan Wolverines defense is suspect. And with that, I rest my case.
What are you rusting? I don't understand how this is any different.
I'm just saying that yes. Against the elite teams, Don Brown's defense has been suspect, and that's proven to be the case for the past few years. We've seen that whenever he goes against elite skill position players, such as KJ, what was his name? KJ Hamlin.
Yeah, Hamlin.
Bob Barkley, all the dudes at Ohio State, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Whenever his defenses face elite skill position players, they do not do well. But when he faces lower level competition, they do enough for Michigan to have a chance to win the game. So for today, if I have to point the blame at anybody, though, I can't necessarily put it at the defense. I still have to put it at the offense. Because the offense, you got to score more than 24 points. You just got to. You know what I mean? Especially in today's age of college football, where like 49 to 37 is a common score, you gotta put them more than 24. It's just unacceptable. Especially when Rutgers was putting up whatever the heck they put up.
I tend to agree. I was just about to jump on the producer JB bandwagon and begin my prosecution of JC Sunnyside. Wanted to claim an elite defense best in the country and got me, nameless, all pumped up, all full of hope.
You were.
And you know what? But Big Reg, what you say is compelling. The offense is actually, you're right. I find myself agreeing with you. They are more responsible for the loss today. Both sides were inept, though. Both sides lost. We got handled on both sides of the ball.
I do also want to point out, since Mr. Squarehead was almost correct in predicting 8 punts, can you tell me any defense that could withstand having to defend probably at least double the amount of time? Since the offense and the defense, we almost tend to think of it as two separate units, but they affect each other, right? And if you punt 8 times and your defense has to go back out on a 3 and out, I mean, whenever that happened, Mr. Squarehead's words were just like ringing in my ear.
3 and out punt, 3 and out punt, 3 and out punt.
And then I thought to myself, I was like, wait a second, this defense was just resting for about 5 minutes. They 3 and out punted, and now they have to get back on the field again. You wonder why they couldn't get pressure on it? They're back on the field again. It's disconcerting to have a Don Brown defense with then also an inept offense that can't get any long sustained drives. Can't like push the ball. I mean, I didn't look at the actual amount of time that Michigan State had the ball, but that last drive of theirs when they were like pinned down within their 10-yard line and they drove all the way down the field, it boggles my mind.
Joe Milton was exposed. He couldn't get anything done. He had all those short passes, but the week before, his playmakers turned into nice yardage. I mean, all that was getting stuffed. All the interior runs, stuffed. We got some good chunk yards on the perimeter, but that was it.
I think that's why when we stated that Michigan State is a junk team that lost to Rutgers, I'm eating my words. I'm eating my words today, especially because I have a lot of Sparty friends here in Ann Arbor. I'm eating my words today because I thought Sparty played lights out on defense. I think so. Antoine Simmons looked like all NCAA linebacker because he was just reading everything and tackling everyone. Where was Cam McGrone? Where was that? Where's Viper?
Your Honor, if I may approach the bench.
Speaking of which, both McGrone and Michael Barrett were injured.
Yes, they were, Your Honor. But I will say this, Your Honor. For me, one of the biggest issues in this game today was the lack of mojo, rhythm, whatever you want to call it, the lack of swag, if you will, when it came to the play calling on offense. Last week, we got into a rhythm, we got into a flow. We kept the mini defense, on the back foot, if you will, Your Honor.
Agreed.
This week, for whatever reason, the blocking assignments were not crisp. The execution was not crisp. And as a result, there felt an air of desperation that permeated the entire Michigan Wolverines offense. There was no sense of poise, calm, or collectedness. And all through the game, it felt just a hint of searching for answers, if you will, Your Honor. And with that, I rest my.
Are you from New Orleans? What's going on right now?
I don't know. I feel like, remember Matlock? I feel like a Matlock, Southern lawyer, time to kill, trying to make sense of a horrible situation. My cousin Vinny, I'm trying to just bring some kind of justice, comfort, I don't know, something to the situation. But what I'm saying, though, with the offense this week versus last week, it didn't have, like, Josh Gaddich felt like last week with the play calling, he had a little bit of swag, a little bit of mojo, you know what I mean? He felt like the one that was taking the initiative, keeping the defense on the back foot. But this week, it's just like, a misstep here, misstep there, like the Wildcat formation, like the Haskins jump ball, jump pass thing. I mean, continually trying to run it up the gut when that wasn't working. You know what I mean? That kind of stuff. It just felt like, he didn't have any answers or new twists that will put the Michigan State defense on notice. You know what I mean? Throw them a little curveball.
I think for me, that may be because our guys, weren't good enough. I mean, our offensive line, the much praised and vaunted O-line, not going to miss a beat, even more athletic than last year, yada, yada, yada. No, I don't think so. There was no way they were going to get more than 1 or 2 yards up the middle. Try and try again. It was very, very clear to even a novice observer. When we got them out on the outside, anything outside the hash, some of those speed guys, yes, they got some yards, but we couldn't sustain it. If you keep running that solely and you can't do anything else, the deep shots that they took, everyone saw it. Michigan State, we all have eyes. Everything overthrown. No threat. Joe Milton locking into his receiver. That's not on Gaddis or the play calling. Everyone saw it. Milton exposed. Future, gonna improve, gonna be better. Maybe. This is only game 2, but so not ready today. So underperformed. There's nothing he was gonna be able to do to pull out a W. Young man just didn't have the goods. And Michigan State knew it. And I think Gaddis knew it. And I think we know it.
I almost hate to say this. I almost don't want to say this.
Do it.
But you know what it reminded me of today?
What?
Uh-oh.
He reminded me of Shea Patterson.
Wow.
Oh.
Hey, it was almost like a taller version of Shea Patterson.
Because he was just locking onto one receiver.
Yes, locking onto one receiver.
He wouldn't.
The anything over, like a medium to long range ball, zero, not as accurate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then when the things got tough, instead of showing that lockdown grit, again, not
No,
Anyway,
but Rich, he had an advantage. His
who did?
his cannon for an arm, even the defense can't catch those balls. So like, he would zip that in there. No INT. Nobody can catch those balls.
Not even Eric All.
Wait.
I mean, he would just try
Wait,
to
wait,
squeeze in there.
Did we have any turnovers today? We didn't have any turnovers today, though, right?
No, we almost did.
Yeah, there was almost a couple picks, a couple tip passes, yada yada yada. But we didn't have any turnovers. They didn't have any turnovers.
No, 0 turnovers. I think on both teams.
I'm telling you, man, this game came down to a couple plays here, a couple plays there, and it would have been a different story. And like I said, in those kind of games, it never should have gotten to this point.
No,
it never gotten to this point.
But it did.
It wasn't a couple plays. It was like the whole game to me. My eyes showed me they were dominating start to finish. Quarter 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is where I disagree. Your Honor, if I may approach the bench again, this is where, if I may respectfully disagree from the gentleman from the nameless area. Your Honor, again, I don't think they dominated us. Because, yes, they controlled the line of scrimmage. Yes, they did, blah, blah, you know what I mean? But we still could have won the game.
We still should have scored at least 2 more touchdowns.
Yeah, we could have, should have, would have. You know what I'm saying? At least. Now, obviously, we didn't, and we lost the game. But what I'm saying is, despite all the ways that we fell short, despite the fact that they controlled the line of scrimmage, despite the fact that they were able to, take advantage of our cornerbacks on the outside, yada yada yada, they still barely won this game. It's not like we got dominated, like we dominated them last season. What did we win by last season? Like 49 to something?
Yeah,
49 to like 10 or something. Yeah, I mean, like, we dominated them last season. They didn't do that to us today.
You're right.
We lost, but we didn't get dominated. So it frustrates me that we lost to a crappy Michigan State team. That's what kills me the most.
You're right. It felt like they were in command. They were in control.
Yeah.
It felt that way from the beginning, and that, like, nothing Michigan could do could reverse it. That's what it felt like all through the quarters. Like, they couldn't change it, and it wasn't fluky. They were just stronger, bigger, and more executing. They just did it better all the way through. That's what I meant. Not dominating, maybe in that sense, like blown out, but in total command, in total control. They knew it too, and I felt like I knew it in my heart as I'm watching. I was like, okay, you're better. No, that's what it looked like.
I kind of agree, but I think they weren't afraid. They weren't afraid of losing. And so they were willing to almost go a little bit I wouldn't say reckless, but they're willing to they were willing to chuck the ball and see what happens.
Yep.
And it paid off for them.
Yep.
Because it was a weakness of of us anyways, and they were willing to do it. I was actually surprised Mel Tucker on that 4th and 2 decided to kick the field goal when they were up by 3. What's the difference between 3 and 6? It doesn't matter. And yet he kicked the field goal, and I thought that might be the downfall of this game. You might have made a serious mistake there. But come to find out, it was our mistake.
Anyway, you know what, guys? What more can we say about this game?
We've already said about an hour's worth.
Yeah, we gotta stop.
Put it back, just like the Michigan season. Nothing salvages it now, but miraculous
Oh, this I
improbable
hate.
victory in the finale, or
I
a COVID shortened season to ruin it for everybody.
Wow. Wow. If not
We-
us, then
the
no
whole-
one.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Nothing short of oblivion for everyone can just misery love company across the board.
My inner peace in all of this is that I did predict this team to be 6-3 this year.
Oh,
I did not expect us to lose to Michigan State. I specifically said that. So as I went on my walk of shame, I soon began to realize that my expectation for this team is still intact. And so I continue to see what next game will bring. But I am rattled. I am rattled. After that first week, I'm rattled. The highs of highs and the lows of lows, I'm rattled.
nameless guest. What about you? You think this team can come back, salvage the rest of the season, and make it something worthwhile for us?
I think today was close to a death blow in many ways. I think oh yeah, I hate to say it, but people who are just about had it and were already trying to run our coach out of town, well, their blood is boiling at a fever pitch. The level of their despondency hasn't been much higher. I mean, this and a recruiting and just the shame of it and the fact that you let little brother rival who was nothing supposed to be a nothing maybe climb out of the ashes. What is this? This is one of the worst days of Michigan football in a long time. Really, I'm not overstating it. I don't believe it was horrific. So I'm depressed, and I don't know how I'm gonna watch. So we got to make it up by gaining back an improbable win, like the revenge tour, just going like running the next 4 in a row or 5 in a row straight. What else? What else can reverse this horror show?
There's only one thing that can reverse this. Only one
Preach it.
thing. And
Preach
we all know what it is. We all know what it is.
All right, well, I'm out then. Till next time, brothers. If I do come back, I don't know. So sick of this.
Nameless guest, we raise a glass to you.
Oh, he's ripping everything off. He's exposing himself.
Take it easy. We feel your pain, and we feel the pain of all of Michigan Wolverines Nation. But we still raise our glasses and we say, go blue.
Forever go blue. Oh yeah, JC from Sunnyside wants his props for the ass.
Get out of here. No props this week.
I'm done. Good night.